Hello Archivists, and welcome to our channel. We're six-sided Scribes, and this is our first battle report. We just thought it might be apropos to bring the Lion and the Wolf. I am Nahal, and I'm guiding the Sons of the Lion, the Dark Angels.
Fair. And I'm Jugal, and I'm bringing the Sons of the Wolf. This is our first battle report ever, so feel free to let us know what you think of it down in the comments section below. And if you like what you see, and please do subscribe for more content down the road.
Yeah, just the buttons should be there in the corner there somewhere. Yeah, we could really use the help, and yeah, you could see more content like this. So for the first game, we thought we'd be a little more poetic and fluffy, given that we're two brothers, and no fight between two brothers in the entire Imperium is as famous as the fight between the Lion and the Wolf, which happens to be the two armies that we play.
Yeah, my first army ever and his first army ever are true loves, and yes, we hate each other.
Yes, but only on the tabletop.
So today's mission is from the Nephilim GT mission pack. It's mission number 13 from the Strike Force. Yes, it is that one indeed. It's the one we all hate. It is the Data Scry Salvage.
Yeah, that's what the dice came up with, so we rolled mission 13.
It's the will of the Chaos Gods.
So without further ado, let's get into the list.
So today for the Space Wolves, I'm bringing 2,000 points of original Space Wolves. Not since the start of 9th Ed have I been able to bring name characters out on the board, and today for our debut match, I decided to bring Ragnar Blackmane himself. So, for those of you who haven't seen the OG Space Wolves in a long time, my army gets +1 to hit whenever they charge, get charged, or heroically intervene. And army-wide, every unit of mine can heroically intervene, so beware. The super doctrine for the Space Wolves means that whenever I'm in the Assault doctrine, my 6s to hit always explode. And today, my army is going to be in the form of a battalion. I'm bringing Ragnar Blackmane himself as my Wolf-Lord. And even though he may be the named character, he is not my Warlord today. He is a very dangerous force multiplier between his rules that let me pile and consolidate another 6 inches, and his 10 attacks with his Relic sword is very dangerous. I'm bringing a Primaris Chaplain on bike, who will be my Warlord. I've paid the points to make him a Master of Sanctity, and I've given him the Warlord trait of the Saga of the Hunter, which means he can advance and charge, making him a dangerous threat that can move 21 inches and then charge. I've also paid the command points to give him a Relic and an additional Warlord trait, and I have given him the Wise Orator Warlord trait, which means his litanies pass off on a 2, and I've paid the command points to give him the Benediction of Fury. In troops, I'm bringing a squad of Assault Intercessors, who are very dangerous with the number of attacks, and I believe the 2 CP stratagem that lets me make them fight again would be very handy to clear off any pesky little objectives. I'm also bringing 2 min squads of Incursors who can scout deploy, and their ability to just ignore all hit modifiers when they're shooting. That means I can gun down planes, shoot through dense cover, and just become very good pressure for turn 1 deployment. In elites, I'm bringing a 4-man squad of Blade Guard veterans who will be running alongside Ragnar. They too have really crazy weapons, hitting on strength 5, -3 AP 2 damage, and a good number of volume of shots. I'm also bringing 2 Redemptor Dreadnoughts with macro plasma cannons for their good range anti-tank shooting and good number of volume of anti-infantry shots from the Onslaught Gatling Cannon and Storm Bolters. Plus, it doesn't hurt that their fists can just punch a hole through a tank. Now, I'm also bringing some Wolf Guard and Jump Pack, 5 of which have dual lightning claws and 5 with lightning claws and storm shields. My plan is to combat squad them, but even if that changes in deployment, a 10-man squad that can just cut through everything like butter is just always good to have. In my elite slot, I'm also bringing a Wolfen Dreadnought, who I'm very proud of the way he's built and posed. I'm bringing him with a Blizzard Shield and a Fenrisian Great Axe, which means he is a Dreadnought with a 4-up invul and an axe that can cleave through a tank or a min squad of any infantry that he crosses paths with. In my fast attacks, I'm bringing 2 squads of Thunderwolf Cavalry, One built with Thunderhammers and Storm Shields, and the other one built with two Thunderhammer Storm Shields and one Power Axe and a Storm Shield just for points. They are as Fenrisian as it comes. To round off my list, I'm bringing an Impulsor with an Iron Hail Heavy Stabber, and this is going to do the very important job of getting Ragnar and my Blade Guard across the board and doing what they love, which is just getting in combat and mulching things. And once it's dropped off its troop transport, it's just going to go around the board, catching objectives and just being a regular nuisance. Yeah. So in this game, I'm starting with 3 CP, and because we are two brothers and we are bringing Lion and the Wolf, I thought it's really fitting to bring the Heroic Challenge as one of my secondaries, which means if I kill a designated model, I get 5 victory points. If I kill it in melee, I get another 5 victory points. And if I kill it with my designated character, I get another 5 victory points. For my second secondary, I'm bringing Warrior's Pride, because how dare they? This means that if I start a turn with 2 units within engagement range of an enemy, I get 3 victory points. Or, more importantly, if I make 2 successful charges in this turn, I get 3 victory points. And for my third secondary, I'm bringing No Prisoners, which means for every 10 wounds I knock off from any model that isn't a character, vehicle, or monster, I get 1 victory point, with additional victory points as the score keeps racking up. I'm bringing this because I'm quite certain once I've tabled him, I will get 15 victory points. And now, let's see what the Sons of the Lion bring.
So, for your viewing pleasure today and for our first video, I have brought my first love, the First Legion, the Dark Angels. They are a really cool army and have a very unique dynamic in how they play. So their chapter tactic is basically divided into 2 parts, as all are. The first part isn't too interesting because what it means is their auto pass attrition, which isn't really a problem because all the inner circle models, which is most of my army here, auto pass morale anyway. The second part is where it gets really interesting because all my models that stand still, or rather did not move in this movement phase, note I said this, get +1 to hit. The list itself is divided into 2 detachments. You might be aware of this, you would have seen it around. You have your first company Vanguard and your second company Outrider. Now in this detachment, I have got Azrael. He's of course going to be my Warlord. The cool thing about that is Azrael, just being my Warlord, gives me an additional 2 CP. He's really good as a support character because he has a 6-inch aura of giving everybody a 4+ invulnerable against ranged attacks. Plus, he's not a slouch in combat. He's got a good sword that does 2 damage and gives mortal wounds and 6s to wound. So in the same detachment, and now going into the elites, I start off with a squad of 4 Blade Guard. They're just going to be hanging around with Azrael, holding my home field objective, and maybe just giving him some bodyguard. Moving on to the actual meat and potatoes of this list, I've got a squad of 10 Deathwing Terminators. So these are my OPSEC units in this detachment. The way they're loaded out is I've got 5 of them with Twin Lightning Claws, and I've got 5 of them with Storm Bolters and Chain Fists, with 2 Cyclone Missile Launchers in there as well. I may or may not combat squad them. I haven't made up my mind yet. Most likely I will, because then they can go after 2 other units. I've also got a squad of 10 Deathwing Knights. Now these guys are awesome because they hit and they hit hard. These guys have maces that are 3 damage. They hit on a weapon skill of 2+, and they take no penalties for swinging those maces around. In addition, they've actually got a flail as well in there on the Sergeant. The cool thing about the flail is it's AP 3/2 damage, but the damage carries over. I've also spent a CP here to mastercraft the weapon, because why not? Let's take the 2 damage over to 3 damage and see if you can kill a few more things along the way. Now, moving on to my second detachment. The cool thing about this detachment is that everything in it is Ravenwing, or rather it has to be, but the benefit is that my bikes and my Outriders get objective secured. This makes them really cool because they're fast, they get extra movement, and they can go around grabbing objectives, getting some early points for me, and probably just staying alive. Getting into the meat and potatoes of this list, in the HQ slot, I've got a Primaris Chaplain on a bike. Because he's on a bike, he's Ravenwing, which is cool because he gets all the cool stuff that Ravenwing do. I've paid the points, of course, to make him a Master of Sanctity. I've paid a CP for him to have a Warlord trait, Wise Orator. Similar to the Wolves, his litanies go off on a 2. In addition to that, I've also given him the Dark Angel's Relic, which is the Mace of Redemption. Now, even though this is an Outrider detachment, I do have something in the elite slot, which is a squad of 5 Ravenwing Black Knights. These guys are really cool. They're fast because they're Ravenwing, of course, but they've got plasmas where the bolters should be. In addition, they've also got Corvus hammers, so that's good if they want to get into some close combat. They're 2 damage hammers. Now, let's get to why we're all here, the fast attack slots. So to head it off, I've got a squad of 3 Ravenwing attack bikes. They're so cool. They've got multi-melters. I'm hoping to get them out pretty early on and get some damage in, maybe bracket Redemptor Dreadnought or kill the Impulsor before he can come to me. If not, just kill it outright. Besides the attack bikes, everything else now has OPSEC. Now, to cover the OPSEC units, I've got a squad of 3 regular bikes. Now, they've just got bolters and chainswords. They're just a min squad. They're going to be running around getting me OPSEC, just being screens, that sort of thing. And I've also got 2 squads of 3 outriders. Pretty much the same things as the bikes, just going out, being harassment units, kiting the Space Wolves, that sort of stuff. For my secondaries, because the Space Wolves have taken a challenge one, I figured I'd do the same, and I thought I'd go with Martial Interdiction. So this works differently to the Space Wolves in that I need to pick an enemy character. If it gets destroyed, I get 3 victory points. If it gets destroyed by a Dark Angel's unit, it's 3 victory points. So effectively, I get 6 victory points for just killing the unit. I get 3 additional victory points if it's killed by an Inner Circle or a Deathwing unit. And if this unit that killed that model survives till the end of the game, I get an additional 6 victory points. The second one that I've gone with is the new and improved shock tactics from the latest FAQ. Because we'll be fighting over the midfield and Space Wolves are going to be aggressive and charging me, and I'm going to be aggressive charging them. Every time I kill them off an objective and I take it for myself, I get 4 victory points. The third one that I've gone in is good old simple grind them down, in which I'm just hoping to kill more of the Space Wolves than they do of mine every battle round. And I'm going to be really leaning into my resilience coming from the Deathwing Inner Circle and the Ravenwing Jink. So let's see how things go.
So, welcome to the battle. We've already rolled off our attacker and defender. I won the roll off, and I've chosen to be a tackle. So my brother, the Lion, has picked his deployment zone and has dropped his first unit. I, in turn, have chosen to deploy on this side of the board. I've got the Impulsor with Ragnar and the Blade Guard waiting in the wings. They're going to move up the board and disembark, depending on who goes first. Let's see how that plays out. I've got the Assault Intercessors inside the building, holding on the home field objective. They're hopefully going to keep trying to do the mission sub-secondary throughout the game, and just stay back and get me one objective. I've got my 2 TCAV waiting on either flanks. They're going to move up depending on where my opponents go, give me a good coverage of the board, and can be a good threatening, pressuring unit through the game. I've got 2 squads of Incursors who have scout deployed on 2 different objectives. They're simultaneously getting me the objective and acting as a bit of a bait. Let's see if my opponent chooses to bite. And to top it all off, I've got 2 Redemptors waiting on my deployment zones. I've positioned them hoping that they would get good line of sight down the board. But even if my opponent chooses to hide his models carefully, I can still move them and hopefully still get some good line of sight.
Okay, that's pretty interesting deployment for you there. Now let's go through what I've done. Now on the Dark Angel side of things, I've naturally left most of the Deathwing in Deep Strike, so that's basically my 10-man squad of Deathwing Knights. I've combat squadded my Terminator squad, so I've got the Lightning Claw guys in Deep Strike, and I've deployed the other 5 guys in the terrain here with the Blade Guard. So I'm going to have my Blade Guard try and get me the mission sub-secondary and keep doing the action. I've got a huge blob of Raven Wing up on this side here. They are basically my bikes, one squad of Outriders and my attack bikes. So the idea is they're going to go up right over here and get these objectives for me. Now I've got my second squad of Outriders here, my Chaplain and my Black Knights back here as well, that are basically just going to go down this line and try to get those objectives there, maybe plink those Incursors off. Now the cool thing is I've actually made sure that my bikes, my attack bikes and my Black Knights are all within Asriel's 6-inch aura for his 4+ invulnerable save, as are the Terminators. So if something does come at me across the board, pretty much I've got a 4-up invuln. Let's see if that comes in handy.
With that, now that we've deployed, let's see who goes first.
Alrighty, okay, you're going with the black dice. I'll
Yep.
go with a red one here. Let's see what happens.
The most important dice roll in the game.
Let's see. And we're going... I rolled a 5.
And I roll a 5.
Okay, this is already off to a great start. Let's try
Sounds
to
about
roll
right.
again. I've got a 1.
And I got a 1.
Okay, this is totally not ominous at all. I'm going to change dice for a third time. And this time I'll roll a 1 again.
And this time I roll a 5.
Okay, cool. So, now
This
it's
is
gonna
not
be-
going to go well.
Yeah, well, let's see how it goes. Now, let's see what happens in Space Wolves. Turn 1. We'll be back after the command phase and movement phase.
And here we are in the Space Wolves, after Space Wolves turn 1 movement. While we're here, we thought we'd take the opportunity to actually talk you through what are we considering each piece of terrain as. So we'll start over here. So we're counting this one as ruins. So we've got obscuring and light cover if you're within the terrain.
Yep.
This one over here, the admit terrain, is line of sight blocking, barricades, and if line of sight passes through this, we're counting as dense cover.
Yep.
Very similar to this one. This is line of sight blocking, barricade, and if line of sight is passing through this, it's difficult. It's dense cover.
These are just crates. So shipping containers, so exposed position, scalable, not breachable, of course. Similar to the opposite side of there, basically just mirroring these ruins. We have light cover, defensible, breachable, all that sort of stuff.
Sure.
Down here, these parts, same, mirroring the other side there. We've got dense cover if you're shooting through these. Otherwise, line of sight blocking with a bit of a barricade here. This side over here, again, similar, mirroring on that side. We've got some barricades here, again, line of sight blocking with some more crates, and just again, line of sight blocking. So with that out of the way, let's get back into the movement phase and see what Jux has done in his movement and his command phase. So you want to talk us through it?
In my command phase, I was able to pull off both my Chaplain's litanies. So I've been able to get Canticle of Hate, which gives me plus 2 inches to my charges. And anything within 6 inches also gets plus 3 to the pile and consolidates. And I've also been able to pull off the Litany of Hate. Now, I will admit, I was not hoping to go first. So
I was hoping you'd go first because I did not want to be going first.
So, yeah, there was really no litany that I would actually necessarily need right now. But figured, why not roll the dice? And since nothing's really within charge range, anything that isn't shooting, I've advanced. So, Incursors have advanced. The Wolfguard Jump Pack have advanced 6 inches, but I didn't need the whole movement. My Impulsor here has advanced another 6 inches, totaling a total 20-inch move.
Yep.
I'm rolling quite a few
That's
sixes.
yep, as you do.
My Wolf and Dreadnoughts again roll another 6. And as you can see, I'm just pushing up the middle of the line because there's no point playing coy. My Space Wolves love a fight and they really want to pick one. The only things that haven't advanced are my 2 Redemptors. And yes, the squad of Incursors that are still continuing to hold that one objective.
Yeah, yep. Not for long though.
Okay, now into the shooting phase.
Oh, yeah, this is going to be fun.
One thing I forgot to admit in the command phase is I spent 1 CP for Wisdom of the Ancients on my green Redemptor Dreadnought.
Yep. That little
So
guy there.
I'm re-rolling hit rolls of 1.
Awesome.
Now, let's see how much damage I can do.
Okay, bring it on.
Now,
Brother.
starting with the first Redemptor over here.
Yep.
Most of his guns are beyond range, but his macro plasma cannon should be within range of your Terminators on the other side of the board.
Yep.
So the macro plasma cannon, I am of course supercharging. Let's see number of shots. 6 shots!
Woohoo! Oh boy, that's your 4th 6 in a row.
All right, so I'm hitting on 3s. I'm outside of the reroll aura from this one, but c'est la vie.
Yep.
Let's see how we do. Hitting on 3s, 1s do a mortal wound to myself. That's 1 mortal wound, which I think I can live with.
Okay.
Now I'll be wounding you on 4s because you have inner circle and I hate you.
No, you don't.
I hate with love. That's 3 wounds.
Okay.
Now since I'm in the Devastator Doctrine, they should be AP 4.
Okay, so I need to save my Terminators on a 4-up. 4 saves? 3 saves on a 4-up, which basically means I'm on a 4-up either way from cover or Azrael's in one. Let's see what I get. It is... Okay, 2 die. That's not a good place to start. Yep.
The second Redemptor, one with the green plasma, is going to target the Outrider bikes guarding Azrael.
All the way back here.
Yes, because that's the only thing he can shoot at.
Oh, go on.
Macro plasma cannon, supercharging. 5 shots. Not as good as the first one, but I'll take it.
By 16%.
So I'm hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s on this one because I put Wisdom of the Ancients on him.
Yep.
All hit.
Awesome.
I'm wounding you on 3s because I'm strength 9 and you're toughness 5. Oh, 2 wounds.
Okay.
But AP 4.
So
you get armor contempt.
Yeah, anyway, it doesn't matter. 4-up involves from Azrael. Makes 1, takes 1.
Okay,
3
so
damage. So 1's down to 1. I will put it on the dude in the back. Cool.
Okay. So that's 10 shots.
So
hitting on...
So from the Incursors into these Outriders out here. Okay, cool. Go for it.
So I'm hitting on 3s, no rerolls. I'm wounding on 5s. That's 3 wounds at AP -1, which essentially means nothing. So you have 3-up armor saves.
3-ups coming up. And it is... Okay, so I've got 1 Outrider on 2 wounds.
Yes, I also forgot to mention that during the end of my movement phase, my Assault Intercessors at the back here are doing the mission secondary.
Yep, cool, gotcha.
So that's generally it for my turn because I can't make any charges here, no fights, no pylons, no consolidates, nothing. So at the end of my turn, I don't get any of my secondaries, but I do get the mission subsecondary, which means I'm holding numbers 2, 1, and 3.
Yep.
So I'm holding those 3, so I should get 3 victory points at the end of my turn for finishing that action.
Cool. Awesome. And on that note, we shall be back to see what the Dark Angels respond with. Okay, so here we are at the end of the movement phase for the Dark Angels. So a couple of things, just admin things that I need to go over that I didn't mention at the start of the game, which I should have. It is Martial Interdiction. The character that basically I'm trying to kill would be Ragnar. And
for the heroic challenge, my Chaplain, my Warlord, has issued the challenge. And which character of yours accepts the challenge?
Azrael, the Warlord.
Okay, so we have a Warlord versus Warlord. It's a Slay the Warlord.
Yes, nice. So that being said, moving on, Azrael gave his Chapter Master rerolls to the Black Knights over here, so now they have full rerolls to hit. Besides that, I've had a fairly timid movement phase, so my attack bikes just moved up as well. Remember that my Raven Wing get an extra 3 inches in their movement phase, so I've tried to make the most of it. My Outriders have moved up onto this objective, again only moved. These guys have only moved up here, straight into the face of that Dreadnought. Hopefully the Dreadnought won't be there much longer. And these bikes in the corner, they've advanced, but they've only literally just come and they've stayed put on that objective, just holding it for me. My Terminators, my remaining 3 boys, just moved up and trying to get basically a clean line of sight onto the Impulsor or the TCAV, whatever suits. The Blade Guard moved up as well. My Chaplain basically circled around the building, advanced, ended up behind the Blade Guard, so he's pretty well screened between the attack bikes, the Outriders, and the Blade Guard. One Blade Guard is still inside the building. He's the one that's doing the action for the mission. In terms of the Chaplain, I did manage to get off Canticle of Hate, so +2 to charge, and however I failed Litany of Hate, so no rerolls. Doesn't really matter. The one that I really wanted was a +2 to charge. So that being said, let's see what the Dark Angels can do now. So we're gonna start by shooting with the obvious. Let's start with those bikes over there that can basically draw a line through the terrain at the Incursors. It's dense cover, but doesn't really matter. As the Devastator Doctrine, they advance or shoot at a -1 penalty anyway. So they will be hitting on 4s, wounding on 4s with just regular bolt guns. And let's see what happens. No rerolls. Hitting on 4s. Oops. Okay, so just 3 hit. Right. Off to a good start there, boys. And 1 wound. No AP.
All right. So I get light cover from being around the barricade. So 2 up armor.
Yep, makes it perfect. Now let's do the same thing with these Outriders. So they've only moved up, so they're only hitting on 3s. Hitting on 3s and wounding on 4s into the Incursors. And for that is 4 at AP -1.
So armor of content and light cover, so 2 up armor saves. Fail 1.
So the attack backs, I'll get them to put their bolters into the Incursors, with the multi-melters going into your Dreadnought. So from what we measured, we've had 2 of them within melter range and 2 out. So I'll have to roll them separately.
But they are still within Azure reroll range, so that should help a lot.
Yeah, it will. So I'll roll for the 4 that's within melter range first and see what happens. They're hitting on 3s and rerolling 1s. Alrighty, so that's 1 hit from that, and the one that's outside melter range, I'll use a different colored dice for it actually.
You'll have to roll the damage on those differently.
Yeah, that's what. So
okay,
that's why I use different colored dice. So 3 hits so far. Strength 8, toughness 7.
Yeah.
And nothing. Okay, way to go, boys. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Into the Incursors. Reeling 1s for Azrael. 4s again. Just for 3 wounds into the
Alright,
Incursors.
so same 2 up armors. All save.
Nice. Azrael can see the Impulsor. I might get him to throw 1 shot from his plasma gun. He hits on 2s. Let's see what we can get. That's a 1. Let's see if my Terminators can do any better. I'm going to get them to put their Storm Bolters into the Incursors here, and I'll put the 2 Cyclone Missile Launchers into the Impulsor. So let's do the 4 Cyclone Missile shots first. Into the Impulsor, hitting on 4s because they moved and the weapons are heavy, but rerolling 1s. Just 2 hits. The other 2 are missed. Wounding on 3s. Just the 1 wound at AP 3 because it's the Devastator Doctrine.
So 5 up?
Yep.
Nope, that's a 4.
D6 damage. 5 damage. Alright, now...
So that means my Impulsor has now taken 5 wounds.
Let's see what my Black Knights can do going into the TCAV. Not going through the dense cover. I will supercharge all of them. And I'll roll 2 at a time. Hitting on 4s, rerolling everything from Azrael. Okay, so they're all hit. And I will definitely be rolling these 2. Okay, it's a miss, but nobody's dead. 2 more dice for the other 2 guys. That one's cocked for sure. Okay, that's a hit. And let's reroll these ones from Azrael. Okay, so nobody dies, but just 1 missed. Yep, so wounding on 3s now. That one's cocked. So 1, 2, 3 miss. That gives you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 saves at AP3.
At AP3, so I've got Storm Shields, so 4 up either way.
Yep.
Let's hope.
Oof.
Okay, so I make 2.
Yep, and
So
that's
that's
1 dead and 1 or 2 wounds. So we're back after the charge phase, and I've had to do some really risky maneuvers after the really disappointing shooting phase that I had. I mean, I was not expecting my multi-melters to go into the Dreadnought and not do anything. I was expecting for at least 1 to wound. But anyway, I have charged 1 squad of Outriders into the Incursors. I've actually had to go around the barricade so he doesn't get the benefit of heavy cover, though he still would get defensible, I think.
Yes.
Here I've had to basically effectively suicide this squad of Outriders into both the TCAV and the Dreadnought. I actually had to spend a CP to make that charge, but I did, thanks to the Chaplain and his Canticle of Hate. Over on this side, I again used the Chaplain and his Canticle of Hate to do a multi-charge from my Terminators into both the Impulsor and the TCAV. I had to do both. It seems like a bit of a suicide maneuver, but he would have just heroically intervened into me anyway. So at the start of the fight phase, I'm going to start with my Terminators here into the Impulsor. I'm going to put all my attacks there. I'm going to spend 1 CP for Fury of the First, because I do have Grind Them Down banking on this. So all the Chain Fists going into the Impulsor with Fury of the First, hitting on 3s. Right, was still not expecting that. Only gave me 1 3. Wounding on 3s again. But these 4 go through at AP4, so you'd be on to 6 up armor saves.
Let's see how well my dice rolled.
Nope.
No.
What's the damage? It's flat 3
It's
into
flat
vehicles.
3 against vehicles.
Yep.
So that's a dead Impulsor.
12. Yep.
Let's see if he blows up.
No.
No.
Okay, cool.
Let's see if we disembark and who dies. So Ragnar and
Yeah.
4 Blade Guard. So each one is dead. Okay, so I lost 1 Blade Guard with it. So with that, now there's suddenly a gaping hole where a vehicle used to be.
Yeah, and my Terminators in the meantime have basically just consolidated into the TCAV. Not sure how they'll do. Onto the attacks for the Outriders. They get 19 attacks on the charge into the Incursors. Let's see what they do. They hit on 3s with no rerolls. On 4s. Okay, that's decent. I think. Yeah, so 3, 4, 5, 6.
So let's see how will we do. Fail 1. So you killed one Incursor, the one that was left from 1 wound. 1 Incursor lost there.
Yep.
And I'm moving on to your last fight.
Yep. So the way I've basically piled in means that 2 of the Outriders can go into the TCAV and 1 can attack the Dreadnought.
So you'll be hitting on 3s and wounding on 5s?
Yep. I've got two dice in here, so the 6 that are going into the Dreadnought are going to be the red dice, and everything else will be the white dice. So they're hitting on 3s again. No rerolls. Okay, I can deal with that. 1
So
into the
the
Dreadnought
one into
and
the
3.
Dreadnought.
Yep. AP1. That's
a save.
that's
Yeah,
safe,
armor
correct.
save.
Yeah, I forgot. I keep
And for
forgetting
the
them
TCAV.
Yep.
And they're all good.
Cool.
And now to return the favor, starting with the 2 TCAV over here
Yeah.
into the Terminators. So let's start with the Thunderhammer. So I've got 6 attacks. Hitting on 3s, no rerolls. So hitting on 3s, 2 fail, and I'm wounding on 4s. So let's
In a circle.
1 wound,
In the AP.
-2.
-2 down to -1. So 3 ups.
That's 1 dead. And now 6 attacks from the wolves.
Yep.
These are hitting on 2s. Wounding on 4s because transhuman.
On 3 ups. Okay.
That's 1 damage. These TCAV will put their Thunderhammers into the Outriders.
Yep.
So 10 attacks with Thunderhammers. Hitting on 3s, but since I got Wisdom of Agents on this one, they'll be rerolling the 1s. So hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s. The 2s are just a terrible loss. And there is 1 4 back here. Rerolling the 1. Wounding you on 3s because they do not get in a circle.
Yep.
Ooh, that is not good.
Good for me.
So 3 at AP minus 2.
So AP minus 1, so 4 ups.
Yep.
And I fail all 3.
So that's 1 dead, the 1-on-1 wound. I should have bitten first.
Yep.
And another 1 dead because the 2 damage.
Oh,
okay. Will kill him.
Yes, yes, it will. Very much so.
And now let's finish up the wolves.
Yep.
Another 9 attacks. Hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s. That one is cocked.
So is that one there?
And I'm rerolling the 1s as well. So all hit.
Yep.
Wounding you on 4s because I'm strength 5.
Yep.
That's another 3.
At AP? 2. So at AP 1. Oh, that one's cocked. One's failed. And yep, makes 2. One takes 1 wound.
Okay.
So
now my Dreadnought actually has something to do.
Right.
So 5 attacks. Hitting on 3s because I get +1 to hit, but the axe makes you -1 to hit.
Yep.
So hitting on 3s. That's 4 hits. Wounding on 3s. Okay.
AP?
-3.
-3, so down to -2.
And it's D3 plus 3. So you fail 1, he's just dead.
He is dead twice over.
The Incursors. So these guys are hitting on 2s because, again, I got charged. I'm wounding you on 5s. Nothing. All 2s and 1s.
Where were these with the TCAF? Alrighty, and on that note,
that's the end of turn battle round 1. We'll tally up the score. Here we are with Space Force turn 2. And as you could see, Dark Angels had a horrendous turn 1.
Yep.
Sorry. But yes, you did. And now that my turn's finally come around, I get to punish them.
Yeah, you've basically just capitalized and moved your entire army forwards, looking to, I think, tie up all of my units simultaneously into combat. So this is going to be a very, very bloody round for the Dark Angels. I reckon they're going to end up with a really bloody nose by the end of this.
Hey, I'm not entirely untactical. I made sure to move my troops in the back, screen them out a little so, your Deathwing can't drop in my deployment zone. Unfortunately, there's only so much I can do because I still have given you a pocket over here to drop down.
Yeah. So these guys advanced, if memory serves me right. So they basically advanced just to fill everything back. These Assault Intercessors again moved up again, basically just screening out the back. There's a little over 9 inches in space there, but I can't drop.
What's the most important thing to do is I have advanced my Chaplain, moving a total 21 inches to land him perfectly outside 2 inches of Azrael.
Yeah, I think it's 2.5 inches away.
And I have spent 1 CP to put in the Assault Doctrine, and his Litany of Hate and his Mantra of Strength has passed off. So I'm hoping to end the Heroic Challenge right here, right now.
Okay, so Azrael's going to need a minor miracle to get through this. Let's see what else you can do.
Okay.
So
now,
what else have you done? So I think Ragnar has moved up through the terrain out here, as did the Blade Guard. The Wolf Guard moved out of the terrain. They've come over here, ready to take on the Terminators. The Redemptor Dreadnought also moved up as well. So those Terminators aren't long for the world. Down here, these Wolf Guard, I think, just rounded the corner, landed up here, looking to take on the Black Knights. And the TCAV over here, right?
Yeah, they've advanced 5 inches and they moved right up into your face.
Yep, so the attack bikes aren't long for this world as well.
I was questioning whether to have the Wolf and Dreadnought move around the terrain, come after these bikes in this corner here.
Yep.
But I thought at that point I'm just getting greedy and I don't want to overextend myself. I mean, I'll let you have that one objective.
Well,
the Redemptor has come back here as well, and he's going to shoot at some bikes and then charge these Outriders.
Yep.
And at the end of the movement phase, my guys are doing this mission secondary objective.
Perfect. Awesome. So we don't have a psychic phase to speak of, so let's get straight into the shooting.
Yes.
Awesome. All right, let's do this.
The Redemptor Dreadnought, the one with the blue plasma, is going to put all his shots into the Blade Guard back here.
Okay. So where are we starting?
Start of the Macro Plasma Cannon. D6 shots, supercharging.
Yep.
4 shots.
All right, there we go.
Hitting on 3s, wounding on 2s.
4s.
4s, because you're in a
'cause
circle.
In a circle. Oh, you take 2 mortal wounds right there?
Yes, I do.
Alrighty.
Wounding you on 4s.
Yeah, that's 2 wounds. Alrighty. So
you take them on your 4-ups.
Yep, my 4-up in ones. And I roll another 1 and 2. That's 4 dice rolls in a row. So
that's 2 dead.
It basically kills 1 guy and puts 1 on 1 wound, I think. They're 3 wounds a pop.
Yeah, I'm supercharged. So
oh, yeah, you are. Alrighty, so it kills 2 then.
Now for the onslaught Gatling cannons.
Yep.
8 shots.
Yep.
Hitting on 3s, wounding on 4s. So 2 miss. 4s. 4 at AP -1.
Okay.
So
4
3 ups.
4 3-ups. And okay, 1 takes a wound. Okay, I can sort of deal with that. Right, what else you got?
Okay.
Stormbolters.
Yes, Stormbolters.
Yep.
4 shots. Same profile. Cocked. 3 hit. 3 wounds. AP -1 now. So.
And 1 more dice.
You reroll this one, it's cocked.
Oh, yeah. Alright, let's do that.
Okay.
No. So just 1 wound.
Okay. Icarus Rocket Pod. D3 shots.
Yep.
3 shots. First time ever. Hitting on 3s. 1 hit. Wounding on 4s. 1 wound. So, wounding on 4s, I rolled a 5.
Yep. And I need I will save it on a 5.
Okay.
It's over there. Cool.
Okay, now time for this Redemptor.
Oh, yeah. So that Redemptor there in the back.
This Redemptor will put all his shots into the attack bikes except for the Gatling cannon.
Yep.
Which he will put into the 1 lone blade guard. I want to see if I can kill him.
Okay. Yep. Sweet.
So let's start with the blade gun. So 8 shots from the Gatling cannon, hitting on 3s, wounding on 4s, as before. Okay, significantly worse.
Yep.
But I just need you to fail 1 die. So 3.
3.
AP 1, so 3 ups. Yep.
Yep. That'll kill him.
Macro plasma cannon, supercharging into the attack bikes. D6 shots. 3 shots.
Yep.
Hitting on 3s. Wounding on 3s.
And you take a mortal wound from that.
Yes, I do. Wounding you on 3s, can strike 9, not 10.
Okay,
that's 1
that's
at AP
one.
minus.
So they have a 4-up inmon from being around Azrael, which they make. Awesome.
Okay. Stormbolters. Cocked. 1 hit.
Yep.
Not a wound.
Not a wound. Okay, cool.
And the Icarus Rocket Pod, D3 shots.
Yep.
2 shots. Cocked. Hit.
Yep.
Wounding on 3s. Not a wound.
Not a wound. Alrighty.
And now for the really painful part. Charges.
Yep. Alrighty. Let's bring the pain.
Okay. Let's start with the Wolf Guard charging the Black Knights. The far end.
I will actually spend a CP here to overwatch
Alright.
with my Black Knights. Let me just grab my dice and I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back to Overwatch, and my Black Knights are going to be overwatching into these Wolf Guard. So I've got 3 different colored dice, which basically signifies which ones I'm going with. Needless to say, I will be supercharging. And so hitting on 6s, but rerolling everything because of Azrael. And
no hits.
Nothing. So I will supercharge, because if they die, they die. And even if they don't, the Wolf Guard will kill them quick enough anyway. Okay, so I get 1 hit, but 1 guy still dies. Alrighty. And I'll just roll
2 other
more.
bikes.
Nothing else, but rerolling because of Azrael. And 2 more bikes die. So I've had 3 bikes dead with 1 shot hitting. And he wounds though. So roll your save.
So I need a 6-up save? No.
Nope. So 1 guy dies basically. And because I've killed 3 of my 5 guys, I'll just remove the ones from the front, I suppose.
Wow, okay, that's... I feel like my 1 model made up his points there.
Yeah, because my models went and basically did the job for you. Alrighty, once we've measured up the new charge distances and finished our charge rolls, we'll be back. So we're back after the charge phase, and the entire Space Wolves army is effectively just gone into the Dark Angels army. Jokes, you want to talk us through what you did?
Alright, so My Wolf Guard have charged into the Black Knights. Just finish up my charges. I've only got one squad of Wolf Guard left to charge into these Terminators.
Yep. So
Roll a 5,
yeah,
which has been my lowest roll yet.
Yeah, because you've basically just been rolling insanely high on all your charges. As well, you've been rolling insanely high in your entire game, actually. So, the Redemptor made it in.
Made it with an 8 in charge.
Yep. Over on this side, the Blade Guard have gone into the Chaplain with a 10 in charge. Ragnar got into the Chaplain just barely with a 6 in charge. The T-Cab went into the attack bikes and the Chaplain with a 9 in charge.
The Wolf and Dreadnought has charged the Outriders with a 6 in charge, and the Redemptor into the 9.
Yep.
And most importantly, the Chaplain has made a turn 2 charge into Azrael with a 9 in charge.
That's so many 9s. Let's see what happens in the fight phase. Alrighty, where do you want to start first?
Well, I'm not letting you interrupt with Azrael, so we're going to fight there first.
Okay.
So the Chaplain has 6 attacks.
Yep.
He has successfully pulled off the Litany of Hate and the Mantra of Strength, so he has 6 attacks, hitting on 2s.
Yep.
He is in Assault Doctrine since I paid a CP for that.
Yep.
So his 6s explode, and the Litany of Hate lets me reroll everything, so
okay,
this should be painful.
Yep.
So hitting on 2s, 6s explode, and I'm rerolling everything.
Okay.
3 1s don't help me.
Well, you can have 2 1s.
And that still counts.
Okay, I'll still take that.
I'm wounding you on 4s.
Yep.
Oh!
I am very happy with that. I will definitely take that. Yes. Thank you, sir.
Not worth the CP reroll there. Okay. Let's continue to my Wolf Guard, who will attack into the Black Knights.
Yep.
So they have 2 attacks base, 3 on the charge, and additional 2 attacks for the 2 Lightning Claws.
Yep.
So I'm getting a grand total of 21 attacks.
Alrighty, let's roll here where there's a bit of space.
Hitting on 2s. Just 3 fail. I'm rerolling this one because it's cocked.
Yeah, okay.
It's a hit.
The dice do what the dice
Wounding
do,
on 5s, but rerolling fails. Another 3. So that means a successful total number of...
I'll just roll these dice.
10.
10. Okay, alrighty. Let's see what I can do. So -1, so 4 off. So these ones are all fine.
So
that
that's
would kill
5
1
wounds.
bike and put my Sergeant onto 1 wound. Okay.
Let's fight over here. Let's start with the Redemptor.
Yep, into the Terminators.
Into the Terminators. 5 attacks. Hitting on 2s. Wounding on 4s because that makes sense.
A circle. Yep.
And that's 1 wound for 4 ups.
4 ups. Yep, then he's fine.
Okay.
Perfect.
And now let's do these Wolf Guard. So they should have 21 attacks as well. Hitting on 2s. Wounding on 4s and rerolling fails. So hopefully this should have a better conversion rate.
That's a pretty good dice roll there.
That was a fail. Let's reroll these.
Okay, I'll just roll these dice because I could not be bothered with counting them and getting my own dice. Yep, thank you.
So 3 ups, I think.
3 ups are what I need?
Yeah.
Okay, so that would kill...
you want to reroll this one? It's cocked?
Yeah.
Or?
No. And of course it kills both Terminators. There we go.
Okay.
So that's the squad wiped.
On to the Wolf and Dreadnought.
Yep.
Who will attack the Outriders.
So I will spend 1 CP at this point on Transhuman Physiology, so they can only be wounded on 4s.
Okay, so 5 attacks. Heading on 2s. 1 fail.
Yep.
Wounding on 4s because you're just mean. 1.
Yep, that definitely helped.
AP -3. Nope.
So
does D3 plus 3, so
at least kills 1 guy. Alrighty, what else we have?
And the Redemptor into the same.
Yep.
So hitting on 2s.
Okay.
1 fail. Wounding on 4s.
Yep.
That's 3 at AP -3.
Okay,
so you need 5s.
5s. Okay, make 6 and I just lose 1.
That's another D3 plus 3.
Yep, so I lose 2 bikes all up.
Let's do Ragnar's blistering exploding 10 attacks into the Chaplain. Hitting on 2s. Of course, the 1. Wounding you on 3s because I'm strength 6.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, so that's 5 at AP -4 at 2 damage.
5 AP for 2 damage. Let's see what happens. I've got a 4-up Inlon, of which I make...
Oh, your chaplain lives on 1 wound.
Okay, I can sort of deal with that.
So now moving on to the Blade Guard.
Yep.
Only 2 of them are within engagement range.
Yep.
So only 2 of them will be attacking, the Sergeant and the other one. They are hitting on 2s, rolling 1s because of Ragnar.
Yep.
And wounding on 4s.
Alrighty, let's do this.
Okay, all hit.
Yep, and you need 4s to wound. Oh, that's a really good roll.
So 2 fail.
Okay.
AB 3, so 4 ups.
Yep, and that's a dead chaplain. Cool.
And now to close off this fight phase, let's have the Thunderbolts attack with the 10 attacks from the Thunderhammers into the bikes.
Yep.
So they're hitting on 3s, rolling 1s because of Ragnar. All hit.
Yeah.
I'm wounding you on 3s. 3 fail.
Okay.
So that's 7 wounds at AP -2. So you need 4 ups.
4 ups. And
That's 3 damage each.
so that's a dead bike. That's a dead bike, and then that'll kill the 1 bike that was on 3 wounds. And you have now killed my entire attack bike squad. Alrighty.
And now to close off this fight phase, let's have the Thunderbolts attack with the 10 attacks from the Thunderhammers into the bikes.
Yep.
Yeah, you got 1 guy on 3 wounds, that's fine. So they're hitting on 3s, rolling 1s because of Ragnar. All hit.
Yeah.
I'm wounding you on 3s. 3 fail.
Okay.
So that's 7 wounds at AP -2. So you need 4 ups.
4 ups. And
That's 3 damage each.
so that's a dead bike. That's a dead bike, and then that'll kill the 1 bike that was on 3 wounds. And you have now killed my entire attack bike squad. Alrighty. And now we're back with Azrael's punch back into the chaplain. Let's see if he can do anything else there. He's got 6 attacks with the sword.
I will be spending 1 CP for transhuman because I don't want to take any chances.
Yep, alrighty. So Azrael's hitting on 2s. Miss 1. Wounding on 4s. Okay.
You can reroll that 1 because it's cocked.
Yep, and
That's 1 mortal wound.
That's 1 mortal wound in addition, and 2 more saves.
Okay, if I fail both of these, you may actually kill him. Does the sword do 3 damage or 2?
2 damage.
Okay, so he's gonna live either way.
So he
Save
makes
1.
Fails 1. Alrighty, so he's taken 3 wounds at the end of that. Let's go to my 1 remaining Black Knight here, the Sergeant. He's gonna attack with his Corvus hammers. I get Grimmers all over here, so they're hitting on 2s. 3 hit. And re-rolling 1s because of Azrael. And so that's hit again. And wounding on 3s. Yep.
Let's see how they do.
Yep,
they are fine.
Perfect. So they're completely fine. Moving on to the 1 lone outrider in the back there. Onto the I'll put all his attacks into the Incursors so they don't get to punch back as badly. So I basically just get 4 attacks. And hitting on 2s because he didn't move. So they all hit. That's where the 6s were. And wounding on 4s. So that's 3 wounds at AP1.
So 3 are bombers. Fail 1. So 1 guy takes 1
on 1 wound. They have to be the toughest squad of Incursors I've ever seen.
Okay, and now they'll fight back at 2 attacks each. So that's a grand total of 8 attacks. Hitting on 3s because I got charged. So I'm hitting on 2s.
No, you didn't get charged.
Oh, yeah? Yep, you're right. Protracted combat.
So
hitting on 3s. Wounding on 5s.
Yep.
That's 1 wound.
Okay, I will deal with
It's
that.
no AP, so.
And he's fine. Cool.
Hooray.
Okay, so that's basically been a bloodbath for the Dark Angels at the end of this turn. Unfortunately, everything that died is in a circle, and the Outriders can't really fill morale there because they only lost 2 models. Okay, now let's come back to the Dark Angels and see how they respond to the Space Wolves threat, and let's see what they have to say about this. So because I don't have too many models left, we just decided to breeze through most of our phases. I'll just give you a quick summary. In the command phase, because my chaplain's dead, I don't have any litanies, but Azrael did give his chapter master rerolls to himself, again, because he's the only one that's left. In the movement phase, I had my Blade Guard just sort of circle around a little bit, land up over there. The Black Knight here fell back, came back over on this side just to get out of dodge, because he will die next turn being on 1 wound. The Outrider stayed in combat, and my Raven Wing bike sort of just moved back a little bit, still staying within 3 inches of that objective. Then I decided to bring in my Deep Strike units, my Squad of Deathwing Terminators here. That's where they pop down, hoping to get a charge on the Assault Intercessors there. And I decided to bring down my big block of Knights in a long line over here, 9 inches from both the Chaplain and the Thunderwolf Cavalry. So that's basically the movement phase done. In the shooting phase, again, nothing much happened. I had some paltry shots go out here and there from the bikes and the Outrider. They didn't do much, so we're just going to gloss over it. Azrael did nothing, and then we went on to charge, which is where my luck started to turn, actually. So coming out of Deep Strike, my Deathwing Knights actually just made a 10-inch charge into both the Thunderwolf Cavalry and the Chaplain, and my Lightning Claw Terminators on this side here managed to get an 11-inch charge off onto the Assault Terminators. So we'll just be back in a minute after we've done all the movements. Okay, so I've done my movements, and we've got the Deathwing Terminators there in combat with the Assault Intercessors. My Deathwing Knights have charged, and because I'll naturally be activating them first, I've already taken the liberty to pile them in. Which doesn't really affect anything, it's just because it's really tight quarters. I didn't want to muck around with piling in and all that. But Jugs, you did something, didn't you?
Yes, I spent 1 CP, or it normally would have been 1 CP, but since I put it on Ragnar, it's 0 CP. I had him make a 6-inch heroic intervention into Azrael. So, yes, the Wolf Lord is fighting the Chapter Master.
Yeah, so if you guys missed our video that we had done earlier on the background of the story, you'll see why Ragnar has a bone to pick, pardon the pun, with Azrael. So we still got that little grudge match to fight out, and so glad and so awesome to see that is actually being played out on the tabletop. So without further ado, let's get into combat. This is how they've ended up. My Deathwing Knights, the one guy in the middle is not doing anything except making sure they're all in near coherency, but I've got 5 of them into the Thunderwolf Cavalry there, and I've got 4 more fighting the Chaplain. Just a bit of a clarification here, we actually had a quick look and realized that the Chaplain is not on 3 wounds but rather on 4 wounds left, because he does start off at 7 wounds after the damage he's taken from Azrael. Jugs, what are you doing?
I'm spending 1 CP to make him transhuman, so now you're only wounding him on 4s.
Okay, cool.
I want him alive.
Let's see how long that stays for. Alrighty, so let's see what my Maces of Absolution can do into the Chaplain. Let's see how that happens. And I'm rerolling once for Azrael for sure. So that, okay, so I drop 1.
You'll be wounding on 4s.
On 4s. Okay, so, wounding on 4s, yeah. So you have 3, 6, 7 saves to make on a 4+ invulnerable.
Okay. He's dead.
Yep, he is well and truly dead. And let's quickly resolve this combat over here. We still have 4 maces there and just the flail. So 3, 6, 9, and 12 for the maces, and I'll do the 4 red dice for the flail. Doing once for Azrael. Okay. And moving on 3s. Oh, the flails did not do as well. But you've got those many saves. The red ones are at AP 3. All the bone ones are at AP 2.
I'll be doing them together because it's the same 4 invulnerable save.
Yep. Cool. Okay. So dead. That's a dead TCAV. That's a dead TCAV.
And that's 1 alive on 2 wounds. Yeah, 1 wound. Oh,
Okay,
that's a lot of attacks.
I just want to make sure that they're actually well and truly dead. So I'll actually spend 1 command point here for Fury of the First to make sure that they actually hit on 2s. Let's see what happens. So 26 attacks, hitting on 2s, wounding on 4s, re-rolling everything.
Yep.
So.
Okay, so
Okay.
AP2.
AP2 down to AP1 because of your Armor of Contempt. So you'd be making 4
4
of armor saves. Oof. So dead guy, dead guy, dead guy, dead guy, dead guy, and ghost guy's dead. Sweet. All right. So that's the squad wiped over there. So
And now we're here, having Ragnar Blackmane put his 10 attacks into Azrael. Okay, so 10 attacks, hitting on 2s, wounding on 4s. Okay, so 4 at AP minus 4, so you'll be taking invulns.
Yep. So the first one, it's cocked, and that's a save. It's cocked again. I'm just gonna roll him on this side. That's a save.
Now you can roll them together. He's not gonna die.
Yep. That is
2 damage.
2 damage. Oh, it's only 2. Okay, I'll let that through. And he's taking 2 more damage. Okay. So Azrael's taken 4 wounds. He can fight back now, I guess. He's hitting on 2s, rerolling once because he gave himself his full rerolls. Oh, so right here. Yep. And wounding Ragnar on 3s. Yep. I think I got your dice rerolls there, bud.
Alright, so that's a 4 up. Yep, he's good.
He's fine. It's perfect.
Alright, so with that, we finished the Dark Angel's turn 2.
Yep.
You've killed everything, so there's nothing to flee to morale. Now we're back with the Space Wolves turn 3. We've just finished the movement phase, and now we're in the Assault Doctrine, so I'm going to bring some even more pain. I've just moved these Incursors back just to avoid them ever having to deal with these Terminators that came and took my home field deployment.
Yep.
I've moved my Dreadnought up this way, and I've advanced my Thunderwolves around here. Roll a 6 in the advance.
Again.
Yes. My Incursors fell back from here, and after their last combat, after they finished their protracted combat, I lost 1 Incursor, so I just decided to pull them back, but still keep them in the objective. The 2 Dreadnoughts from here, I've pulled them over here, and as you can see, this whole corner is just becoming a war zone. The Terminators killed two of my Thunderwolf cavalry, and I've consolidated in, and that consolidation has completely and utterly ruined any plans that I had. Because I was originally hoping to kind of outmaneuver, get in, kill Azrael, but now those Terminators have just tied down every unit. And after all of that, I was only able to kill 1. So this is going to be long, and it's going to be painful.
Yep, and in addition, some of the Wolf Guard also flew up, as did the squad that was initially back here. They've gone chasing after the bike that fell back.
Okay, so now we're in the shooting phase, and I don't have much to shoot, but let's see.
But it's still gonna hurt.
Let's just
So where are you starting?
Let's just get the poultry shots out of the way first. My Blade Guard have heavy bolt pistols, they shoot in combat. So, 3 bolt pistols, hitting on 3s, rolling 1s. All hit, wounding on 4s. 1 wound at AP minus 2. Oh, that's 1 damage.
That's again a fail. Alrighty, so that basically kills the 1 Terminator had 1 wound.
These Wolf Guard will just throw a crack grenade into the 1 Black Knight.
Yep.
So hitting on 3s, rolling 1s because of Azrael. That's a 4.
Yep.
Wounding on...
A 3 again.
Yeah, strength 6. That's a wound. So just AP minus 1.
AP minus 1, so AP is here. So I need to make a 3-up save, which I do.
Okay.
Perfect.
Over here, this Redemptor is going to put all his shots into these Terminators that are hiding back here.
And the cover there. Yep.
And let's just see how we do. This guy has already taken 4 mortal wounds from his own plasma.
Yeah.
So let's just see if we can bring him down a bracket, shall we?
Alright, so cool.
So the macro plasma cannon, D6 shots, supercharging for 2.
Okay. I can do that.
Hitting on 3s, Both hit.
Yep.
Wounding on 4s because you're in a circle, and nothing.
Nothing.
Onslaught Gatling Cannons. Hitting on 3s. Wounding on 4s. 2 wounds at AP -1.
AP 1, AP 0, so 2 up armors. Yep, they're both fine.
Okay. Storm Bolters, because I'm in rapid fire range, same. 8 shots. 4s again. 3 at 0 AP, so 2 up armors.
Yep, all fine.
Okay. Of course, that's bound to happen. And Icarus Rocket Pods, D3 shots. 1 shot. Hitting on 3s. That's a hit.
Yep.
Wounding on 4s. And that's a wound.
Okay.
AP -1.
And they're still fine.
Hooray. That was completely wasted shooting phase. Now over here. This Redemptor is going to put all his shots into these bikes.
Yep.
Macroplasma Cannon, supercharging. Number of shots, 3. Hitting on 3s.
You take a model, two
mortal wounds.
Yep, from supercharging.
Now let's see everything else. Onslaught Gatling Cannons, 8 shots. 4 wounds at AP -1.
Yep, so 3 ups with Armor of Contempt. 1 bite goes on 1 wound.
Okay, and now Storm Bolters, 4 shots. 2 hit. No wounds.
Okay.
And Icarus Rocket Pod, D3 shots. That's 3 shots.
Yep.
Hitting on 3s. All hit. Wounding on 3s.
All
All wound.
So 3 ups again. So that'll kill that bike. And
So 1 bike, and I think it's D3 damage.
D3 damage, yep, on the second one.
So that's 3.
That's another 3, so it kills another one. Oof.
Venerable Dreadnought has a Storm Bolter, so 4 shots.
Yep, back into the bikes.
Yes.
Okay.
Hitting on 5s. 2 hits. Wounding on 5s. 1 wound.
He's a Wolfen Dreadnought, isn't he?
Yes.
Okay, so that's a save.
Let's do charges, shall we? The Wolfen Dreadnought will charge the Terminators.
You mean the Deathwing Knights?
Yes. Redemptor into the Terminators.
Hey guys.
The Wolfguard will dual charge the Deathwing Knights and the Black Knight.
Yep.
4.
Yep, that should just get you in.
Wolfguard will charge just 1 Blade Guard here because I can't fit anywhere else.
Yep. And we'll be back when we've moved all these models and we've done our pylon and consolidates.
Alright, so now we're coming into the combat phase. We've moved all our models in place. While we're at it, I also remember to charge my TCAV into the 1 Outrider back here, made an exactly a 6. And the Dreadnought into the Terminators through the wall, made an exact 4.
So this is going to be an interesting combat to see exactly what happens and who goes into what.
Yes, because everything except for my Incursors is in combat with something.
Yes. So that's typical Space Wolves.
And I know you have the CP and you are going to interrupt, so I need to pick my choices carefully.
Yep.
And that's why I'm going to fight with this Redemptor into the Deathwing Knights.
Okay, go for it.
So 5 attacks, hitting on 2s, and since I'm in the Assault Doctrine, my 6s explode. And I am well and truly within Ragnar's reroll range.
Yep.
So I will reroll 1s. So hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s.
Oh, 3 6s.
And rerolling 1. Close.
Oh, jeez. You and your 6s.
I'm wounding you on 4s. So.
Yep, okay. Oof.
See, the 6s didn't matter. The
Yeah,
exploding
they did.
didn't count. So that's 5 at AP -4.
Okay, so I need to make 5 saves. Come on, boys. 4
4
ups inbounds from the Storm Shields. And I make all but 1. Okay, I can
That's
actually live with that.
D3 plus 3, so that's
So
1
it
dead.
kills 1 Terminator. Alrighty. And
Yeah, now
as
you want to
yeah,
interrupt?
so I'll spend my last 2 CP to interrupt with the Deathwing Knights. I'm gonna have to take a minute and just see where my attacks go, and I'll be back once I've declared them. And we're back, and this is a really complex one, so please bear with me. So we're gonna start with this one Deathwing Knight going into the Wolfguard here. The 2 in the building next to Azrael will be going into Ragnar. Coming back along the outside, I'm going to have these 2 going into the Vendread, and that's the Sergeant with the flail. This one here is going to go into the TCAV, and the last remaining guy down there is going to go into the Blade Guard. So, to keep everyone's brains from exploding, what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll out the hits and wounds off camera, and then we'll come back for the saves. Okay, so we're back and we've resolved the hits and wounds. It was an interesting one because I'm in my Assault Doctrine as well, which means I reroll all wounds into the Dreadnought because he's 8 wounds and above, and Ragnar because he's a character. So effectively, I was hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s because of Azrael, and rerolling wounds into Ragnar and the Vendread. So we've done all the hits and wounds here so far, and yeah, okay, you ready for this?
Must I be? So let's just do this in the sequence that we did the attacks in. So we'll start from the Blade Guard and we move clockwise, counterclockwise.
Sounds good. All right, so you've got 2 saves to make on the Blade Guard.
So they'll take it on a 4-up.
On their shields, yep.
1 save, 1 dead.
Into the TCAV, you got to make 3 saves there.
4-ups again. Oh, he's dead.
Into the Vendread, you've got 2 saves from the flail and 2 from the maces.
I'm taking them all in 4-up in one, so just roll them together.
Sounds good.
Oh,
filled them all. So that's
8 damage. Just to be safe, I'll spend my 1 CP to CP reroll that. One of these, because if he lives,
yep,
that'll be helpful. Yes, he lives.
He lives. And into Ragnar, you need to make 5 saves.
Yes. Just as a note, at this point I had popped off Transhuman, so I don't have to take all the shots that are coming at me.
Yeah.
So 5 4-ups. Oh, he's so dead.
Close. But he is still dead.
He's still dead.
Yep. So Ragnar dying basically gets me my martial interdiction, hopefully.
And 2 attacks into the
and 2 saves from the Wolf Guard.
Nope.
That's 2 Wolf Guard dead.
All right.
So we're back after having removed the dead, and this is where things stand right now. And we're going to have to see what the Space Wolves hit back with.
So let's go back in the same sequence. So let's continue with the Blade Guard. So the Blade Guard are hitting on 2s. Can't reroll 1s because you kill Ragnar.
Yep.
But 6s explode.
I'm so glad Ragnar's dead.
And that's 1 explode. Wounding you on 4s.
Yep.
That's 2.
So 4 up inbounds. I failed both of them.
And now for the Wolf and Dreadnought. That's an explode. Do not like the inner circle.
Everybody loves
That's
inner circle.
2 at AP -4.
So 2 4-ups. Makes 1.
Fails
Takes
1.
1. Okay, so
D3 plus 3.
So
that's another 1 dead.
Another 1 dead. So we've lost 2 so far. Alrighty.
Now for the 2 Wolf Guard that are in combat with you there. So that's 5 and 6 attacks.
Yep.
Hitting on 2, 6 is exploding.
Oof. That's 4 explodes. These dice are not weighted, I promise.
1 fail.
That's dead. That's dead.
And 1 2 wounds.
So I've lost 3 Terminators there. And now we're going to have 5 Wolf Guard go into the 1 lone Blade Guard standing there.
Hitting on 2s, 6 is exploding, but 1's fail. Okay, so that many.
Alrighty. Let's hope that I don't get any
1s, 2s, or 3s.
1s, 2s, or 3s. Alrighty. Want to see a miracle, guys? There's a miracle. And no, that's not a miracle. No. So all the Wolf Guard have consolidated. This squad of 2 basically went into my Black Knight, and the other 5 tagged Azrael. So let's move on to this squad of TCAV that are basically just going to delete that 1 lone guy. Redemptor.
So hitting on 2s, 6 is exploding.
It's
1 6 because of your inner circle rule.
Yep.
And so that's 3.
Half the time.
I need to make a 5-up
save. Makes 1. Okay, and we're back onto this side of the board. Let's start with my Black Knight fighting back. This is 3 attacks, hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s with Grim Resolve. Okay, thanks Azrael. Wounding on 3s.
So 4-ups.
Yep.
Both dead. Yes.
And now let's go with Azrael with his 5 attacks into the Wolf Guard. Hitting on that because he gave himself his rerolls. They all hit. And they'd be wounding on 3s. And 6s cause mortals in addition, but no mortals, but you got 5 at AP 5. Okay, so 2 dead.
To the Dark Angel's shooting phase, because their movement's done, and well, we don't have any cycles. So now the only shooting the Dark Angels generally have is the one Black Knight. So let's see how that goes, shall we?
So I will supercharge. Let's go for Broke. Plasma Talons going into the one Dreadnought there. Hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s from Azrael. Both hit. That's wounding on 3s, strength 8 now. And that's 1 wound.
Well, let's see if we can make a 4-up on that, shall we?
And you do, of course you do.
Now that's for the shooting phase. Let's progress on to
the charge phase, actually.
Yes.
Let's start with charging the Black Knight into the 1 Vendread. The Wolfendread, actually. Yep, on a 4 he'll make that in.
Yes, come to me to die.
Well, nothing much left at this point. Okay, so 3 attacks from the Black Knight into the Vendread. Hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s. Rerolling everything, actually, from Azrael. Okay, thank you.
Wounding on 5s.
And that's 2 wounds at AP 2 now.
So still be on a 4-up. Just 3-up armor save.
And he fails both. That should be just enough to kill the Dreadnought, unless you want to CP roll it.
I will CP roll one of these. And let's see if he makes that. And he does. Alright, so now continuing on to protracted combat. We're going to start with the Wolf Guard over here. So we're hitting on 3s. 6s exploding because I'm still in the Assault Doctrine.
Oh, that's 4 explodes right there.
Now I'm wounding on 4s, rerolling fails. Thank you for rerolls.
Don't think Azrael can survive that.
So that is 8.
Okay. AP?
-3, so that's 1 damage through.
That's 1 damage through.
And that's 1 damage through.
That's Azrael dead. Alrighty, there we go. And Azrael, unfortunately, has fallen.
Okay, now...
Not in that way. Not in that way. He has fallen in the field of battle. No, I said that wrong. That came out wrong. Azrael is now dead. Moving on to my Deathwing Knights. I'm going to put everything into the Dreadnought. Hopefully we can kill him. At this point, it's literally just for posterity. So 3 attacks for the Sergeant with the flail and 2 attacks from the mace. So hitting on 2s. So the red dice will be wounding on 5s. The white dice will be wounding on 3s. But I'm rerolling everything because Deathwing. So I'm rerolling that.
Okay, so let's do the flails. So AP 4, so I got 6 ups.
Nope, failed both of them. So he's taken 4 damage from that.
And from the other ones, which is the 5 up. Oh,
nope.
I really should have swapped those dice around. That's a total of 8 damage.
Okay.
He lives on 2 wounds. Let's just finish our protracted combat over here.
Yep.
The Dreadnought will fight back. You did bracket him horribly, so he's got 5 attacks, but he's hitting on 5s. 2 6s.
Oh, jeez.
So 4 hits.
What is it with you and your 6s?
Wounding you on 4s because you're transhuman. That's 3.
Another 3 6s. 3 4-ups. Kills 1. So I've got 1 lone Terminator left.
And let's finish up the other Wolfen Dreadnought into the Black Knight. Hitting on 2 since you charged me. That's 1 6. And I'm wounding you on 2s because I'm strength 10.
Yep.
That's 5 at AP -4.
Okay, so
he's dead.
He's very much dead. Okay, and on that note, given that I've only got 1 Deathwing Knight and 3 Terminators hiding out in the building and the 1 lone bike here, the Dark Angels might just concede this match. The
day may be lost and the Wolves may have won, but the It won't be the last day, and the Lions will be returning.
Yes.
The score will be settled.
Yes, it will. And we shall see you in the post-game debrief.
So, Archivist, that was our first match, and boy was that rough.
Yeah, for me.
Yeah, I gotta admit, I was not expecting that good of a dice roll. I mean,
Yeah.
so many sixes.
All on the advance, so you got straight in my face, turn
Yeah.
one pretty early on, and you just went on from there, because once you got into the assault doctrine, the sixes came
Yeah.
on, and you just started exploding.
It is true. Your early advantage is just compounding. You can just capitalize on it and just keep going.
Yeah. So for me, what really hurt was the very lackluster turn one shooting.
Yeah,
and the
those
turn two
melters.
combat.
I mean, we roll the dice off screen just to see what would happen, and yes, it should have at least kill the dreadnought.
Yeah, it didn't, and even till the end, like that dreadnought was still standing. So that really hurt. In the Overwatch, 3 of my Black Knights killing themselves. That hurt as well. But look, I mean, the Deathwing Knights, they did some solid work.
Yes, I had to throw half my army into that. So Dark Ages players, take those Deathwing Knights.
They're so good. I love
I mean,
my Deathwing
yeah,
Knights.
the hitting on twos more than makes up for the fact that they don't have any shooting. On the positive, this is our first video. It's our debut and it's out. If you're looking at this, then we're proudly happy about the fact that we released a video.
But yeah, I would have had to, even if I did lose in my first video, I would have had to lose by a smaller margin, because it was a full tabling. By the way, we just talked out turn 5, and to see what would happen, I mean, I was left with 3 Terminators.
3 Terminators and 1 bike.
Yeah, so really not much for there. So you really mashed out your no prisoners at that point.
15 points.
Yeah, so that was brave.
If you're taking Deathwing Knights or just a lot of Deathwing, sure, Shock Tactics is a win, because we actually talked about it later, and just fighting back and forth over one objective was giving you victory points.
Yeah, so I managed to get a good 12 on it.
Yeah, just from us fighting over in the one corner. That being said, thank you for watching our first video.
Yeah.
We really do appreciate that, and let us know in the comments what you liked, what you didn't like, what you think we need to work on. Keep in mind, this is our first video, so do try to be kind.
Yeah, look, we are trying to get better. We're trying to improve. Let us know what elements you'd like for us to improve on. We're definitely going to try. Otherwise, if you like this sort of content, please hit the subscribe button. We're going to be putting out a lot more content in the days to come. And as we get better at what we do, we're going to get a lot faster at it as well. So you can keep an eye out for that. And otherwise, with nothing else left to say, we'll probably see you in the next video. And